What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. And today I'm in Aruba. It's actually my last day here. There's a WSOPC event. I played some tournaments, and if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you would have known that. I'm here. It's my last day. Unfortunately, there's no footage from the tournaments I played. Nothing super crazy happened. I ended up placing 12th in the WSOPC main event, and I min-cashed another small circuit ring event. I'll let you guys know next time when the next WSOPC event is here in Aruba, but the island's incredible. Experience has been incredible over the past few days over the weekend. But we're gonna hop into a 5, 10, 20 game here today, and it's gonna be a fun one. The things get out of control, straddles get out of control, and we play some pretty big pots on this beautiful island. So hopefully you can come out ahead. And let's just get into the hands. Things go wild. Hey guys, quick interruption before we get into the video. I'm back in Boston on East Coast, which only means one thing. Very excited to announce I finally have a meetup game coming on the East Coast. November 17th from 3 to 7 p.m. I'll have a meetup game at Borgata. First time going to Atlantic City. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there. If you're from around the New Jersey area, around Atlantic City, I'll see you there. It's going to be 2-5 stakes, November 17th from 3 to 7 p.m. Looking forward to seeing everyone. First meetup game in a long time back in the East Coast. So I'll see you there. Just got the news. I want to share it with you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Let's get back into the video. Hopping into the Aruba cash game, I buy in for $5,000 to start, and let's get right into the session. 5, 10, 20. I pick up ace queen of spades on the button with the $40 straddle on, so game's getting pretty big here. First player to act raises it up to $115, and with a premium like this one, I'm going to 3-bet here in position to $350. Action folds all the way around to my opponent, and he makes the call with about $1,100 behind. So already into a 3-bet pot. The flop comes queen, jack, 4, rainbow. He checks it over to me, and with top pair, top kicker, I'm feeling pretty good about this spot. I put in a down bet on this flop to $200, and my opponent decides to call. We're going to a turn which comes the 8 of hearts. Board's a little bit connected. 10-9 makes a straight, brings in a backdoor flush draw, and he checks again. And at this point, my decision seems a little bit blurry and a little unclear. I'm not sure what I can exactly get value for that can play for stacks, but top pair, top kicker is just so strong. I decided to just go all in, putting him all in for about $900, and my opponent snap calls. Damn, this can't be good news. I show my hand and he shows pocket jacks. For an extra needle, the river comes a queen, so he ends up boating up, and legit 2 hands into this session, I double up my opponent, who also happens to watch the channel, so shout out to you, Heath. He learned a thing or two about catching punts, and yeah, not a great start to the session, and after this hand, I decided to add on for $10,000 more, and let's try to battle back. Trying to battle back here with the $20 straddle on, I pick up ace jack of spades in the cutoff, and action folds to me. I put in a raise to $60 and only get the small blind opponent to make the call. Going to a flop of ace ace 3 to clubs, pretty sick flop overall. He checks it over to me, and I'm definitely going to bet this one, although I'm not sure how much value I can get because I have the board locked up, but I bet out $50, and oh my god, I get some value. He check raises to 125. What a dream spot to be in. This is against someone who I would perceive to be a little bit more aggressive as well. So, got to expect I have the best ace in this spot unless my opponent has ace 3. That would certainly be terrible. But anyways, I decided to make the call. Going to a turn which is the jack of hearts. Wow. Bank City brings in 2 flush draws. I boat the hell up with the nuts right now. And you know what's even cooler than banking the nuts? He overbets to $450. Yeah, music to my ears. I am just going to let him continually blast off. He doesn't have a whole lot of money in front of him left after this bet, but I'm in here. I make the call for $450. The river comes. The deuce of hearts brings in a backdoor flush draw, and I don't know what he's got. I just hope he has a flush or just a really good ace now at this point. And when he goes all in for $650, give or take, easy snap call here. He has ace deuce for a rivered full house. Absolutely sick cooler in this spot and a pretty gross river for my opponent. Really nice to be on the right side of the coolers here. And after punting off a stack to my opponent in the first hand, I end up actually coolering someone and take a stack of my own. All right, trending in the right direction. I pick up another playable one, king jack of spades on the button. Action folds to me and I raise it up to $60. The small blind to my left, vlog watcher here, he 3-bets to $250. Action folds around back to me. My opponent has about $1,100 behind in his stack, and I have king jack suited. 40% of a royal. You've never seen me fold a hand like this pre-flop, so I make the call. Going to a flop, which comes 7-3 deuce, all clubs. The wrong black suits, unfortunately. He ends up checking here out of position, and I think this is very interesting. I don't expect his 3-betting range to connect with this board ever, and I'm not really sure why such a strong hand would check if he had an overpair of some sort. So thinking that he's got a whole lot of air right now, and I'm trying to find a way to win this one with king high, I decided to bluff out $150. Upon my bet here, my opponent checks his cards, looking like he's checking for a club, and I'm just hoping he doesn't have one, but sadly he makes the call. All right, seems like he's got a club, I guess. We're going to a turn which comes in ace. That's not good. Out of all the hands he could have, he certainly can have the ace of clubs in his hand. And even worse, my opponent decides to lead jam. Goes all in for $900. I have king high, nothing to go with my hand. Obviously, it's an easy snap fold. My bluff attempt on the flop here did not work out, and my opponent does end up actually showing the ace of clubs, and his story certainly checks out. Has the nut flush draw, turns top pair along with the nut flush draw, and gets stacks in. Nice hand to you. Seems like the theme is I lose one hand, win one hand, lose one hand, so hopefully this one I win. I pick up pocket nines in the low jack, and I raise it up to 60. Player to my left makes the call, button makes the call, so all of a sudden now I am out of position. 3 ways to a flop of 5-4-4 2 spades. Here I have an overpair, which is a pretty good hand so far, but considering I'm out of position and I don't have many fours, I check. Action checks to the button player, who ends up betting out $55. Think I have an easy continue here as a call. I guess sometimes I could lean towards check raising here, but at this point I decided to call, and now my opponent actually ends up check raising himself to $175. And upon this check raise, the button actually ends up making the call, which is really suspicious. I still think there's a decent chance that my hand, pocket nines, can be good here. Maybe I'm up against some combo draws, maybe up against some spade draws, and what would be really sick is if the 9 of spades were to roll out. Anyways, yeah, I'm really confused. I'm multi-way, certainly should be calling a little bit tighter. And here, pocket 9 seems to be on the fence of calling and folding, and when it's close, I decided on a call, of course. So 3 ways still to a bloated pot now. The turn is the 8 of clubs, which is so close to being a 9. Action gets a little weird as I check. The player who check raised end up checking. And now onto the button player, who bets out $275. What is going on in this hand exactly? I'm really confused. And I have nines, I still have an overpair. I kind of am leaned towards potentially folding, but right now I'm not going to. You don't travel to Aruba to fold an overpair, right? I make the call for $275, and the player to my left calls as well. So we're still going 3 ways to a river now, which comes another 4. I have a full house. Now, certainly confident I have the best hand somehow here, and actually ends up checking all the way around. I show my pocket nines, and the player on my left shows pocket eights. Wow, and he's going to win this one. Found a way to get 2 outed. We don't know what the button ended up having here, as he just decided to muck, but I would only assume he had a draw of some sort. But nice hand to the player to my left, hitting that 2 outer and banking a boat. All right, if you thought the action in these hands so far get a little ridiculous, strap in your seatbelt, hit that like button, because let's dive into this one. I have ace 10 of hearts in the low jack, and I raise it up to $60. Player to my left, who banked the 2 outer on me, makes the call. And now action on the button. Player named Austin, another vlog watcher of the channel and a solid reg in cash games. He 3-bets to $210. Action folds around to me, ace 10 of hearts, not in the most comfortable position facing a 3-bet, but I'd expect him to have some stronger aces or, you know, maybe some marginal hands as well, but I am given a really good price here to make the call here, so that's what I do. Pretty small sizing. I'm in here to make the call, and the player on my left calls as well. So 3 ways out of position in a 3-bet pot, and it comes king 4 deuce 2 hearts. Let's go, baby. Got the nut flush draw. Definitely have a good chance to lock up a win here. Action checks around to the button player, and he ends up checking. Very strange dynamic when he checks a king high flop as a 3-better. Potentially could be capped at not super strong hands. Let's go to a turn which comes a 9. Now here, I'm first to act, and I'm trying to see how capped this button player is. I'm already expecting the player on my left to not really connect heavy with this board, so I bet small. I decided to bet $185 and get the player to my left to make the fold, which is good. Step 1 of this bluff is going to work. Now step 2 is for the button to, oh, he sticks in chips. Oh, all right. Step 2 is not going to plan so far when he makes the call. I'm putting him on a hand like pocket queens or pocket jacks. Let's go to a river, which comes a 10. I have now arrived with a pair. It's always a really dicey and tricky spot when you are planning on bluffing, but then end up rivering some showdown. I can't expect second pair here to be good a lot of the time, and I think about this for a while, and I opted for a check. I just really didn't want to bluff in this specific spot. I hold hearts, I have a pair now, and honestly, it's not a bad hand. Anyways, when I check, my opponent decides to take the initiative and bets out $210. And this is another very strange decision here. Do I ever expect a pair of 10s to be good? With the size of the pot right now, of course, I'm priced in to make the call with just second pair, but I also expect my opponent to go for thin value with queens or jacks all day. And I just think that there is actually a good chance I can bluff my opponent off of those hands exactly. Good properties of having a 10 in my hand is that I block pocket 10s, so he doesn't have too strong of a hand, and I'd expect pocket kings and pocket 9s to raise the turn when I bet so small. So putting him on one pair at best, I'm in Aruba, screw it. Let's attempt this bluff. I put them all in. I raise them all in, which is about $1,800 to $2,000 total. And my opponent immediately doesn't look happy and thinks about this decision for a while. I am just praying for a fold. Given how this hand worked out, it's just very obvious in my head. He's just got a pair that's bigger than a 10, and I just want you to fold, please. After a few minutes, he ends up actually sticking in a call. Oh.
It's like, it's a blessing that they really
You win.
You win.
Whoa. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't win. Oh. I really thought you had queens. I'm sorry. Fuck me.
Wow.
I had the winning hand,
Wow.
for sure.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I folded breaking.
All right, well, I'm an asshole.
King?
No, I had jack queen.
I end up saying you win when he calls, expecting him to have queens or jacks, and then he ends up showing ace queen. Oh no, this is awkward. He just hero called me with ace high, and my pair of 10s is going to win. I show him the bad news. Everyone at the table finds this extremely funny in a really big pot, but obviously I feel pretty bad and it's really embarrassing, especially in such a big pot for this game that I just made my opponent show when he had the loser. Definitely is a pretty poor etiquette move on my part in poker here, especially against a nice guy like Austin. So big shout out to you for taking this one really well. But like I said, really embarrassed to have the dealer push the pot my way when I told my opponent that he won. And that was not true. He called with ace high and my pair of 10s will win. I somehow find a way to win the maximum here in a very, very strange pot. But yeah, like I said, kudos to my opponent here. His read was right that I was bluffing. Just unfortunately, I had a pair while bluffing. So after this hand, my chip stack is huge. So that was a good result for me monetarily. But yes, definitely still feeling bad while doing this commentary. Let me know what you guys think about this dynamic in the comment section below. Would absolutely love to hear what your thoughts on it. In the following spot, we're moving on. I have 10-9 of hearts with the $40 straddle on, and the big blind opens it up to $165. I decided to make the call with two cards that are connected with each other. So we're going to a flop which comes 8-8-7 rainbow. Not a bad flop. I have two overcards, open and a straight draw. My opponent checks it over to me, and I'm going to take the aggression here and bet $100. And for 100, my opponent calls. So going to a turn which comes in ace, not the best card in my opinion. I think this ace is going to hit him a lot more than me in the calling range of this flop. So He checks it over to me, hoping he doesn't have an ace, and I'm just trying to bluff him off now with just 10 high. I bet out $350, and he ends up actually making the call with 1100 behind. Trying to see a good river that I could bluff on, the river comes an ace. Yeah, this one ain't it. And even worse, my opponent, after thinking about it for a while, pushes out about $500. Who knows what the amount is because I snap fold. 10 high is not going to win. I don't have much of a decision. Nice hand to him, and bluffing just didn't work out this time. For one of the last interesting hands of the night, I pick up a fun one, pocket 10s. And also, what's even more fun is that the $100 straddle is on. Yes, the $100 straddle is on. Player to my right limps in for $100, and I raise it up to $350 because that is what you do when the 100 is on. Anyways, it folds back to the player to my right, and he makes the call with only about $800 left. When I say only, it means because it's only 8 more big blinds compared to how this pot has played out. So we're going to a flop of 9, 6, 8, 2 clubs. Pretty sick flop as I have an overpair now here, and when he checks it over to me, I want to pile in all the money in the middle, so I just put him all in for about the $800 he had, and he snap calls. Oh no, that's not good. I show my hand. Facing a snap call is never great, but he ends up actually showing pocket 8s. So he has second pair and a gut shot straight draw. The run out ends up being clean, and I win this one. Shout out to the $100 straddler, because this one helped me win the hand. And again, on the right side of a cooler, considering the straddle and considering how short our stacks are. But after a couple hours of play here in the lovely island of Aruba, time to rack up and book a small win. All right, guys, what a ridiculous session this was. It is currently 4 a.m. Got a flight out of Aruba in a handful of hours now, and what a great way to spend the last night. Never really was able to capture much content from this trip, unfortunately, but I'm glad I got to play some cash games, and it was a fun one and a big one at that. 5, 10, 20 straddles on up the ass. It was great. Played for a handful of hours, and let's go over the numbers because I have a flight to catch. In for $14,895, out for a total of $16,395, which is a even Steven profit of $1,500. Not so bad. I will have to say, next time here, there's going to be a WSOP series in 2023. Highly recommend it. Just always love being here. The island's amazing. People are super nice, and it's incredible. Hotel's great. Experience is great. I have nothing but amazing things to say about this island and the experience every time I'm here. So you got to come out. You got to check out the action. Tournaments are great. WSOPC events, cash games on the side as well. And obviously you can do a bunch of touristy stuff. So yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys posted when the next tournament series will be here in Aruba. I met a bunch of really cool people here as well that watch the vlog. So thank you for coming out. Always a blast playing with you guys. And that's it. Closing out the Aruba trip. Thank you so much for watching. This session was a fun one. I'm glad you guys could sweat along the cash game session. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.